In this short video, I'm going to show you how to save your Photoshop or Photoshop Elements documents into sizes that are optimized for the web. There are many ways to do this, and some of you may already be using a technique where you resize your document inside of Photoshop, reduce the resolution, and then save it. But I like to use a tool that's built into Photoshop and Photoshop Elements that's designed just for saving for web. Go to the menu bar and choose File, Save for Web. That's File, Save for Web. Now here is the Save for Web dialog, and this is where we're going to provide all of the settings for the file that we're going to save. Now right now it is at 100%, and you see two windows side by side. The left side is the original document as a Photoshop file, and down here at the bottom of that window you can see the file name and the file size, which is 22 megabytes. And if you look just below that, you can see that right now it's zoomed in at 100%, which is why we can only see a portion of our layout. On the right in this window, you see the optimized version. And right now the optimization is set at a default or preset of JPEG High, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But if you look in this window, you can see that it is a JPEG. The file size is 1.9 megabytes. And the quality is 60%, or a setting of 60 out of 100 quality levels. Now the first thing we're going to do is to reduce the size of this so that we can see more of our image. So come over to this zoom box here and click the arrow, and you've got some presets, and we could choose just fit on screen just like we did inside of Photoshop Elements to see the entire window. Now let's go up to the preset values. Even though our document size is much lower than 22 megabytes, it's still pretty large. You want to get it down to around a half megabyte, or 500, 600K. So let's see what we can do with this. The first place to start is the presets. Right now it's set at JPEG High. I'm going to just change that to JPEG Medium. But it's still pretty large, 889K. Let's do this. Let's put it back on JPEG High. And instead of reducing the quality, let's reduce the size. 2400 by 2400 pixels is a standard 300 ppi, or pixel per inch, 8 by 8 inch scrapbook page. It's pretty big at 100%. Let's reduce this down to 600 pixels by 600 pixels. And you can see that because I have this constrained proportions link selected right here in this box, then it will automatically resize the height when I resize the width. So now that's roughly 25% of the original size. And let's click Apply. And now it has reduced the size of the image, and you can see that we're down to almost 150K. That is significantly smaller. So let's zoom back into 100% now. And now we can see that our image really looks pretty good. I mean, I would be satisfied with that. But if you're not, you can still come up here to the JPEG High setting and set it to very high. Then you notice here in the box that it is at 263.8K. So that's about a quarter of a meg, a little more than a quarter of a megabyte, which is really a good size. And once you've done that, all you have to do is click OK. Tell it where you want to save it. It's going to assume the name of your original document. If you want a different name, you can give it here. Click Save. And it's done. And here we are back in Photoshop Elements. I've already opened both the JPEG that we saved and the Photoshop file that we started with, and you can see that the resolution is really very, very good on this saved version. It is smaller. you know, we're looking at it here at 100%, while over here our Photoshop Elements document, layered document, is only about 29% viewable right now, or shrunken down to 29% so that we can view it, its full layout. But the JPEG looks really good, and this is pretty much what it's going to look like when you upload it to the web. So I do recommend that you use the Save for Web feature because it gives you so many options. You can adjust, modify any way you want, and do it all in one dialog and then save it for web. And the other thing is that you still have maintained your Photoshop Elements document. So now you have two files. You have the original layered Photoshop Elements document file, and you have your JPEG that is optimized for the web.